In a country where freedom once rang out in the streets, where democracy was once cherished, today Pakistan stands at the crossroads of tyranny and bloodshed. The past week has witnessed a brutal crackdown, unlike any in recent history. Thousands of innocent lives have been claimed, and the government has openly fired on its own citizens. But this is just the latest chapter in a long story of political power plays, repression, and an ever-tightening grip on the soul of the nation. To understand what's happening in Pakistan today, we must look back. The roots of Pakistan's political crisis are deep, and they don't simply lie in the current leadership, but in the broader struggle for control over the nation's future. For decades, Pakistan has been a playground for the powerful elite, the military, the politicians, and the unseen hands that pull the strings behind closed doors. But it wasn't always this way. In 2018, a wave of hope swept the nation with the rise of Imran Khan. The former cricket star promised to rid Pakistan of corruption, to break free from the influence of the military, and to restore the country to its rightful place as a progressive, democratic nation, resonated with millions. The new Pakistan he spoke of felt attainable, but those in power had other plans. Imran Khan's rise to power wasn't easy. He had to battle through a corrupt system and a military that had grown accustomed to ruling Pakistan from the shadows. But when Khan's Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) party came into power, it quickly became clear that the establishment would not tolerate any challenge to its authority. Khan's promises of an independent judiciary, a flourishing economy, and better relations with neighboring countries were seen as threats to the very foundations that kept the military's power intact. As Khan grew bolder in challenging the status quo, the military began to close ranks. And when Khan sought to push for transparency, fairness, and national sovereignty, the walls began to close in. His political enemies, aligned with the military's interests, conspired to oust him from office. In April 2022, Imran Khan was removed from office in a no-confidence vote. But the real shock came later. As Khan continued to speak out against the government, he was arrested on charges that many believe were politically motivated. The arrest wasn't just a blow to his political career. It was a clear signal that no one, not even the people's leader, could challenge the establishment without facing dire consequences. The past week has shown the true extent of the violence the government is willing to employ to maintain control. When Imran Khan's supporters took to the streets, demanding his release and justice for the corruption that has seeped into every level of Pakistani society, the state responded with brutal force. Security forces were ordered to open fire on unarmed civilians. The scenes from cities like Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad were nothing short of horrific. Bodies littered the streets, blood stained the pavements, and families mourned the loss of their loved ones. More than 2,000 people have been reported dead, and countless more injured. What began as a peaceful protest led by people who simply wanted their voices heard was met with the indiscriminate wrath of a government that saw their dissent as a threat. The state's crackdown wasn't just about quelling protests. It was about sending a clear message to anyone who would dare to oppose the current regime. This is our country, and we control who speaks and who dies. Pakistan now faces the consequences of this bloodshed. The economy, already in shambles due to mismanagement and corruption, has plummeted even further. Inflation is at an all-time high, poverty is rampant, and the trust in the government is virtually non-existent. The state has fractured the social fabric, sowing distrust between civilians, the military, and the ruling elite. The wounds inflicted by this violence will take generations to heal. But beyond the economic turmoil, the psychological scars may be the deepest. Pakistan, once a beacon of hope for millions, now feels like a land of despair. The people no longer see the government as their protector, but as an oppressor. more aligned with global powers and corporate interests than the needs of the Pakistani people. The arrest of Imran Khan was the spark, but the flames have spread far and wide. The violence against civilians, the killing of thousands, and the denial of justice for the oppressed have led many to wonder, is there any hope for change? Despite the overwhelming odds, there is still hope. Change, though difficult, is possible, but it requires action from both within and outside the country. The people of Pakistan must continue to rise up, as they have done time and time again throughout history. It will take courage, resilience, and unity to demand accountability. International pressure is also crucial. The world must not turn a blind eye to what is happening in Pakistan. Human rights organizations must call for an end to the violence, and foreign governments must hold the Pakistani military and government accountable for their actions. The world must stand up for the people of Pakistan, who have long been silenced by corrupt regimes. However, the ultimate solution lies within Pakistan's own borders. The restoration of democracy and the dismantling of the military's control over politics are essential. Imran Khan's release is just the beginning. The true work lies in rebuilding a Pakistan that is free from corruption, where the rule of law is paramount, and where the people have the power, not the military, not the elites, but the people. But to do this, the youth, the middle class, and even those disillusioned by past failures must unite for one common cause: the survival of Pakistan's future. The time for passive resistance has passed. It's time to act. If you believe in a future for Pakistan, a future where democracy reigns and the people have the power, it's time to raise your voice. Share this message, join the movement, and demand change. Let the world know that the bloodshed of today will not be forgotten tomorrow.